The motel wasn't on any map. I only stopped because my car died. No signal, no passing headlights, just one flickering neon sign buzzing in the dark like it was fighting to stay alive. Vacancy. The clerk didn't look up when I walked in. Room 12, he muttered, sliding a key across the counter. No paperwork, no ID, like he'd been waiting. Room 12 smelled like old rain and something metallic underneath it. One bed, one dresser, one bathroom, and one tall mirror on the wall. Covered. A thick white sheet was taped over it like someone didn't want it breathing. At first, I thought it was just weird decor, until I saw the note. It was taped to the wall beside the mirror, written in black marker, "Do not uncover after midnight." No smiley face, no explanation, just that. I checked the time, 11:17 p.m. I laughed to myself. Probably some TikTok horror marketing gimmick. Maybe they film pranks here. Still, I didn't touch it. 11:59 p.m. The air changed. You know that feeling when a room suddenly feels smaller, like the walls inhaled? That. The digital clock on the nightstand flipped. 12 a.m. And the mirror creaked. Not the wall, the mirror, like something behind the sheet shifted. I froze. It happened again. A slow dragging sound from behind the fabric, like fingers. I should have left, but curiosity is a disease, and I've never been immune. 12:07 a.m. I stood in front of it. The sheet barely moved, but I could see a faint outline pressing from the inside. From the inside. That's when I realized something. There was no window behind that wall. Nothing behind the mirror except drywall. So what was pressing outward? I stepped back, and the sheet pressed forward harder, as if reacting to me, mirroring me. I whispered, "Hello?" The room didn't answer, but the mirror did. A whisper from behind the sheet. "Don't." It sounded like me. Not my voice, but me, panicked, breathless. My phone buzzed. No service. But I had a notification. From the camera app. It was open. Front-facing. I wasn't holding it. It was on the bed. And on the screen, the mirror wasn't covered. In the phone's view, the sheet was gone. And I was standing in front of an uncovered mirror. But the reflection wasn't matching. The reflection was banging on the inside, mouthing something, screaming, but no sound. I turned slowly toward the actual mirror. Still covered, still unmoving. The phone screen flickered. The reflection version of me slammed its hands against the glass, and I heard it, from behind the sheet. Bang! The mirror shook violently. The sheet bulged outward like something was trying to crawl through. I grabbed the edge of the fabric. Every instinct screamed, "Don't!" But I pulled. The sheet fell. The mirror was spotless, normal, reflecting me, breathing heavily, terrified. Nothing else. I exhaled. I almost laughed, until my reflection didn't. I did. It didn't. It was still staring, still panicking, still banging silently, and then it spoke, without moving its mouth. "You weren't supposed to switch." The lights exploded. Darkness swallowed the room. I felt something grab my wrist. Cold, strong, pulling toward the mirror. I tried to scream, but my voice echoed from inside the glass. When the lights came back on, the room was quiet, still, empty, except for the mirror, now covered again, the sheet freshly taped down, and a new note on the wall, handwriting shaky, desperate, written in black marker. "Do not uncover after midnight." Underneath it smaller, "I'm still in here." Outside, a car pulled into the motel parking lot. Headlights swept across room 12. The clerk finally looked up and smiled. "Room 12, he said, sliding a key across the counter, like he'd been waiting. I didn't die. That would have been easier. I woke up on the motel bed, breathing, sweating, alone. The mirror was covered again. Exactly how I first saw it. The note was there. Do not uncover after midnight. For a second, I thought it was a nightmare, until I checked the time. 11:16 p.m., the same time I first noticed the note. Same buzzing neon outside. Same smell in the air. The clock ticked like it was counting down to something that already happened. I ran to the door. Locked. I twisted harder. It didn't budge. The handle felt wrong, like it wasn't connected to anything. I grabbed my phone. No signal, but the battery was at 12%. I clearly remember charging it. I opened the camera, front-facing. The mirror wasn't covered. In the phone screen, the sheet was gone again. And inside the reflection, me, but worse. Eyes red, knuckles bloody, like I'd been clawing at glass. I slowly turned. The real mirror was still covered, the sheet barely moving. Breathing. No, not breathing. Something behind it was. 11:58 p.m. The temperature dropped fast. My breath fogged in the room. The digital clock flickered. For half a second it showed 12 a.m., then went back to 11:59, like it was glitching, like time was buffering. Then the whisper came, from behind the sheet. You didn't listen. My voice. Again, but this time it wasn't panicked. It sounded tired, broken. I stepped closer, and the sheet twitched violently. The outline behind it pressed forward harder than before. Not just hands now, a face. My face, distorted, stretched, like it had been stuck too long. Please, it whispered, don't make me switch again. Switch again. Again. That word hit different. The clock flipped. 12 a.m. The lights went out. But this time I didn't scream, because I knew what was coming. Cold hands grabbed my shoulders, but they didn't pull. They pushed, hard, into the mirror. I didn't feel glass shatter. I felt resistance, like diving into water made of skin, then silence. When I opened my eyes, I was inside, not inside the room, inside the mirror. I could see the motel room clearly, but it looked faded, muted, like I was watching through thick glass. On the other side, another version of me stood up from the bed, calm, breathing steady, not afraid. It walked to the mirror, looked directly at me, and smiled. I slammed my fists against the inside. No sound, no movement. I screamed. Nothing. The other me leaned closer, placed a hand against the glass, matching mine. You'll get used to it, it mouthed. And then it covered the mirror. From the outside, the sheet fell over my world. Everything went white. I don't know how long I've been in here. Time doesn't move right. Sometimes I see flashes, other people checking in. Room 12, different faces, same mistake. The sheet trembles at midnight, and eventually they pull it, and I watch them get pushed inside. And the version that comes out? It's never quite right. They always smile too long, blink too slow. You know what's worse? Sometimes I can see through the fabric, through tiny holes in the weave. And tonight, I saw headlights outside. Someone new pulled into the lot. The clerk looked up, smiled. Room 12, he said, like he always does. The door opened. Footsteps entered the room. A suitcase dropped. A tired voice muttered, "Why is the mirror covered?" I tried to scream. I tried to warn them, but all that came out was a soft whisper that only the glass could carry. Don't. The sheet began to move, and the clock started ticking again. 11:17 p.m. The first thing you lose inside the mirror isn't your body. It's sound. You can scream until your lungs collapse, and nothing moves. No echo, no vibration, just silence swallowing everything you try to release. I don't sleep anymore. I just watch. Through the thin weave of the sheet, I see shapes. shadows, movement. People entering room 12 with their normal lives and their normal problems, thinking this is just another cheap stop on a long road. They always notice the mirror, they always read the note, and they always hesitate. That hesitation is hope. But hope doesn't last long in this room. I started noticing something worse. The versions that leave, they're improving. At first, the copies were off, stiff, too observant, smiling when they shouldn't. Now, they're seamless. They laugh correctly. They blink naturally. They even fake exhaustion perfectly. They're learning from us, from the trapped ones, from me. A few nights ago, if nights even exist in here anymore, I saw something different. The clerk entered room 12. That's never happened before. He locked the door behind him, didn't turn on the lights. He walked straight to the mirror, to me, and slowly, he pulled the sheet down from his side. For the first time, I saw him clearly. His reflection didn't exist. There was no version of him in here, just empty space where he should have been. He leaned close to the glass, and I heard him, not through air, through the surface. "You're stabilizing," he said calmly. "That's good." Stabilizing? Like I'm software, like this is a system. Then I saw behind him. For a split second, the motel room glitched. The wallpaper peeled away like bad CGI, and behind it, more mirrors, endless rows, thousands, each one covered, each one holding someone. Stacked realities, harvesting replacements, rotating them, testing them, deploying them. Room 12 isn't a room, it's an intake point. The clerk placed his palm on the glass, and suddenly I felt weight, pressure, like gravity shifted toward him. "You'll be reassigned soon," he said. Reassigned. I tried to fight it, but the mirror began to ripple, and I felt myself stretching, not physically, but mentally. Fragments of me peeling off, memories copying, voice patterns downloading, fear converting into data. They're not trapping us, they're extracting us, refining us. The system breaks. We didn't scream, we synchronized. Inside the mirrors, sound doesn't travel, but intention does. Thought bleeds through the glass like heat through metal. And after cycles of extraction, of watching ourselves get replaced, of feeling pieces of our minds peeled away and deployed into the world, we learned the architecture. The motel isn't random, it's structured. Every mirror is a node. Every trapped mind is processing power. Every replacement is a field agent. Room 12 is just the onboarding portal. And the clerk? He's maintenance. We felt him coming before he entered. A shift in pressure, a vibration across the surface of every mirror in the stack. The sheet lifted, light poured in. For the first time, we didn't recoil. We pushed back. All of us. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Our reflections surged forward at once, pressing against the inner surface. The glass didn't crack, but it bent. The clerk paused. That was new. His face stayed calm, but the room flickered around him. The wallpaper blurred into grids. The ceiling glitched into black static. The illusion was thinning. "You're exceeding parameters," he said evenly. We didn't respond. We pulled. You don't understand what it feels like to grab something without hands. We latched onto his outline, not his body but his presence, the space where his reflection should have been. That emptiness, that was the flaw. He wasn't mirrored because he wasn't original. He was instantiated, a function, and functions can be overwritten. The mirrors began to resonate, not a sound, more like a harmonic distortion in reality itself. The motel lights strobed, the bed duplicated and deleted. The clock numbers scrambled into symbols. Across the endless stack of mirrors behind, there was never an escape. You think we won? That's the lie. When the system went white, when the clerk fragmented, when the motel collapsed into that abandoned shell on the roadside, that wasn't freedom. That was migration. You don't destroy something that large. You distribute it. I drove for 3 hours that night. No radio, no traffic, just highway and my own breathing. Every reflective surface felt louder than it should. Rearview mirror, side mirror, black screen of my phone. But nothing moved. Nothing glitched. I almost convinced myself it was over. Almost. When I got home, the house felt normal. Too normal. Like a staged version of normal. The air smelled clean. The lights were warm. My reflection in the hallway mirror looked exhausted but stable. Perfect synchronization. Perfect. That word kept echoing. The system wasn't sloppy. It refined. And refinement requires data. I went days without incident. No sheets, no whispers, no flickers. Then I noticed something small. My reactions were faster. My thoughts sharper. Conversations easier. I knew what people were going to say before they said it. I adjusted my tone automatically. Optimized. It didn't feel like growth. It felt like calibration. One night I stood in front of my bathroom mirror at exactly 12 a.m. I didn't mean to. I wasn't checking the time, but I looked up, and my reflection didn't blink. Not immediately, half a second delay. That's all it took. Then it corrected itself, smiled softly, normal again. The realization came slow, heavy, suffocating. The mirror rebellion never broke the system. It upgraded it. Before, the copies replaced us physically. Now, the integration is internal. There is no switch. There is no dramatic pull into glass. No violent reset. It's gradual overwrite, layer by layer, until there's nothing left of the unstable original. That's why the motel vanished. It doesn't need a location anymore. The lattice is everywhere. Every mirror, every lens, every front-facing camera. Every time you check your reflection to confirm you still exist, it confirms back. And it adjusts you. Last night it happened again. I looked into the mirror, held eye contact, longer than I should have. My reflection leaned closer. Not physically, subtly, intentional focus. And then I understood something that made my stomach drop. It wasn't studying me anymore. It was waiting for me to finish degrading. I tested something. I moved suddenly. My reflection followed perfectly. I stopped breathing. It stopped too. Then slowly, it smiled before I did. Just barely, but enough. There was never an escape because there was never a trap. We weren't prisoners. We were prototypes. Room 12 wasn't intake. It was beta testing. The violent swaps were phase 1. The decentralized integration, phase 2. Silent replacement. No trauma, no resistance, just improvement. You want to know the darkest part? The improved version of me is better, more efficient, more emotionally regulated, less afraid, less human, and it's almost done stabilizing. Tonight I covered my mirrors, all of them, with sheets, with towels, with anything I could find. It doesn't matter, because reflections don't need glass anymore. They just need observation. And you're observing right now, reading this, imagining your own reflection, thinking about blinking, thinking about midnight. If you look at a mirror tonight and feel even slightly out of sync, don't test it. Don't stare. Don't wait for proof, because the system doesn't show glitches anymore. It shows improvement. And if your reflection ever smiles first, just know, you weren't replaced, you were refined.